Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. And good morning. My name is McKay Bird, and welcome to today's webinar, bringing TCS users the benefits of TCN and Finvi. And I'm the marketing director here at TCN. And TCN and Finvi have partnered to deliver a fully integrated CCaaS solution, providing the industry with a more comprehensive solution for their recovery needs. We are excited to dive into today's topic of discussion and the TCS integration. Before we do, I'd like to address just a few housekeeping items. Just as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and we will provide access to the session recording after the webinar. Second, during the discussion, if you have any questions, comments, please utilize the Q&A function on the Zoom control panel. And we do encourage participation, so feel free to ask any questions that come up. We will do our best to address them throughout the session. There will also be a short time at the end to cover any additional questions that we did not get to. So let's just jump into today's agenda. So after the kickoff here, which we're running through some of those items, we will move over to Kevin and Darren to discuss the strategic vision and how TCN and Finvi are working together. Following their remarks, we will pass things on to Chris Duncombe at FCS to share more about his experience with the TCN and Finvi, as well as the integration. Finally, we will wrap things up with a walkthrough of the TCS integration from the Ecliptics team. So with that, let's introduce our panel. So we have Darren Bird. He is the Executive Vice President here at TCN. Within this role, Darren is responsible for overseeing all business operations, establishing best practices across sales and account management teams, and driving execution. With over 20 years of experience in the IT and software industry, Darren has a proven track record of building and mentoring high-performing teams, increasing capital, creating strategic plans, and implementing organizational structure. Next, Kevin Holst. He is the Chief Revenue Officer of Finvi. Kevin Holst brings over 30 years of diverse healthcare experience, including the development of the first generation of electronic health records. Kevin has extensive experience in healthcare fintech, alternative payment models, and population health management, including work with innovative payvider organizations focused on managing Medicare and Medicaid risk. Chris Duncombe is the president of First Collection Services, FCS, a receivables management firm servicing clients nationwide since 1969. Chris has more than 35 years of experience in the collections industry, serving in sales, operations, and executive leadership. He has received industry honors, including being named one of the top 25 most influential collections professionals by Collector Advisor magazine. He's also received the Hall of Fame induction by Finvi. He is a past president of the Arkansas Collectors Association and has served on multiple committees for the American Collectors Association. Welcome, Chris. And last, Sam Mason. He is a co-founder and chief operating officer of Ecliptics. Sam brings a wealth of experience to Ecliptics and provides direction and oversight to critical projects and internal operations. As a driver of Ecliptics' development strategy for the past 2 decades, he spearheads the creation of a robust, customizable integration with TCN's omni-channel services and has a focus on the creation of other real-time, highly customizable software enhancements and TCS integrations to optimize revenue collection. With that was quite a lot, but we are so glad to have these panelists as part of our webinar today, and we look forward to learning more about the integration and what this means for the entire industry. As a reminder, we do encourage participation by asking questions in the Q&A tool, and we'll answer them as we can. And if we don't get to them, we will get to them towards the end of today's webinar. With that, Darren and Kevin, the floor is yours. So I will pass the time to you and kind of let you take it from there.
Darren, I think you got the better introduction with your background. You win by the number of words.
Yeah. No. cut that back. No, hey, we appreciate everybody jumping on and joining. We just want, quickly on the partnership side. We've been from the TCN side, we've been working with Finvi for about a year and a half to bring this together, and we've been working with their development team and their IT team and the business team on how we can both, as companies, bring to market the best of breeds of all products. And Finvi, in their strategy decisions, decided, hey, we want to work on exiting the omni-channel piece, and we wanted to find a partner. And from TCN side, have been working with Finvi and some of their clients for years, TCS clients, as well as, the legacy Ontario Finvi clients for years, and how we can build a better integration and how we can work more closely together. And this partnership has done that. And we've had a strong partnership with Ecliptics for years on the Cubs TCS side. So as we are rolling out a new integration and implementation with their Artiva and their fax and other products, we felt that it was imperative and necessary also to get out in front of the current TCS customers and talk about the integration that we also have with that platform through Ecliptics. And so as other products are rolling out, Velocity and other products are being rolled out through Finvi, the TCS customers have options. Those who are not currently using TCN have the ability to look at our product and say, hey, maybe this is a two-step approach as you're looking at different options in your collection software, that we can show you some options and present to you a tight integrated partnership that is cohesive, that is shared, and that has a vision to go forward as two mutual companies that has a shared vision to bring the best products to the market. And so that's kind of the TCN strategy and approach, and what we looked at when we were working with Kevin and his team from the Finvi side, on the business side of the partnership. So Kevin, I don't know if you have anything to add there or share some thoughts.
No, no. I comprehensive. I think the one insight into our overall product strategy and the rationale behind the partnership is, can be encapsulated in a quote from Bill Joy. Joy's law is, no matter who you are, the smartest people work for somebody else. That somebody else in this case, with regard to omni communications, was TCN. The value of what we brought to the market with our own product was, what was founded and anchored in the integration that we had within the workflow applications. But the reality of it is, an organization like TCN, who is, a focus factory that wakes up every day trying to move their customer experience up and to the right, was outpacing us to the point where we could never catch up to that focus with our own products. And that distills into maintaining a focus of our product strategy beyond providing workflow and payments for our customers, and help them optimize that workflow to drive the best performance in their business. And in the same way, Darren and his partners are driving the best performance from an overall omni communications perspective.
Perfect. Yeah. So whether it be the need for better compliance tools or better data handling, different channels of communication, email, SMS, chat, voice, those products and functionality are integrated, and you'll see that here shortly with Sam and Ralph as they show the Ecliptics product. And so our focus, and many on this call, has been primarily in the credit collections market for the last 20 something odd years. And so we eat, breathe, and sleep it all day long in this market. And so has, Finvi, Ontario Systems and TCS for the last 30 plus years as well. And so we think the partnership and what we're doing is going to have tremendous value. And so I don't think we need, that's probably Kevin and I spill on the partnership and the value of it and what we need to do here. We don't need to continue to bore you with the strategy behind it. But Kay, if you think we missed something, or if you want to bring up any slides and make sure we cover that, we can. But if not, we can move forward.
No, that's really great. I appreciate you sharing the additional insight. Looking forward, and we may get to this later on, but I guess a little bit about what the roadmap looks like, just from an integration standpoint outside of TCS. What does that look like for the industry? And I guess kind of what's the vision there, just from a roadmap standpoint?
Happy to give you our perspective from it. The overall design of the solution set that we bring to the market is to keep the agent focused on doing the right next thing without having to worry about how the peripherals are interacting with themselves, and deliver an integrated user experience. So it assists the agent as opposed to distracts them in engaging with our customers, clients, and the accounts that they're working.
You know, I don't have a lot to add there. I think that's where we're at. We're trying to, you know, the integration points, regardless of the technology that you're using or the vendor that you're using, needs to be tighter and tighter. It has to be more cohesive. Has to work holistically together, whether it be voice analytics or speech analytics or workforce management with big data analytics and so forth. So TCN has brought a lot of those products into our own. We've developed a lot of those products ourselves. And you know, we find partners like Finvi on the collection management side, workflow side, tightly integrate with them, and it makes all of our clients' lives much easier. And we were on a call the other day and with a very large collection agency, and they're struggling with data management, bringing data back and forth. And how do you manage that? It's because the two systems aren't talking well enough together. They bought a handful of different collection agencies, and they're trying to bring all this data in together, and they're trying to bring it into their call center, contact center platform. And it was just clunky because the integration points weren't there. And so we see that, and that's what we see. That's what we get a lot of feedback from as we talk to a lot of our clients and customers. That's some of the feedback they get, is just the disparate vendors that they have, and how do you get them all talking cohesively together so they can do their job, so we can give them the next best action, not slow down the agents, not slow down the collector, not slow down the data analyst or any part of the business that's trying to produce revenue and be efficient.
Yeah. And to your question, McKay, with regard to roadmap, today TCS is integrated through our partner in Ecliptics. The development teams, both on the Finvi and TCN side, have been working through building out integration to our legacy products in HCX, Fax, Artiva RM, and Velocity. A lot of the older platforms in our arsenal of tools that we deliver to the market, are tricky with regard to integration. As we think about our move forward strategy with a product like Velocity, which is ground up built in a modern SaaS-based platform, the use of microservices that are tied together through API, we'll be able to leverage that in a much more meaningful way as we continue to modernize that platform. So happens in all different flavors, exists in a variety of different flavors today, both batch and API. But we're really looking forward to delivering tight integration regardless of what our customers are on today.
Well, that sounds really exciting. And I appreciate, Kevin, the insight into that, because we will have additional webinars, I think, highlighting some of the other integration points in the future. So I think that was a great segue. But anything else that either of you guys would like to add? I think we can transition into our next spot. But anything else that either of you would like to add?
I don't have anything. I'm fine. I don't have anything to add. No, I'm fine.
All right. Well, thank you both, Darren and Kevin, for sharing more about the vision and the strategy behind this partnership. With that, we wanted to shift over to Chris Duncombe, and he is a mutual client of Finvi and TCN, and we really wanted to bring Chris on to really highlight his experience with the integration with TCN and Finvi, and we really do appreciate his time. So welcome, Chris, and there we are. Welcome, and thank you for being here. We really do appreciate your time. We know it is very valuable. But to kick things off, just as question to just kick things off is, can you share more about your experience with TCN and Finvi with today's group?
The world that we're living in right now, we no longer call this a dialer. I love that you all are embracing the communication platform. There are so many different ways that we can communicate with a consumer, and we're kind of held accountable for communicating with them in the manner that they want us to communicate with them. And there's all kind of limits around that. And what I have experienced with TCN and with Finvi is honestly, it's you guys are figuring out the ways to protect us from a compliance standpoint and to help us make more right party connects. Today, we're running campaigns in our office that it's, you know, whenever I start to think about that, right party contacts are today on a good campaign in third party will be somewhere around 5 or 6%, but the normal campaign is 1.5 to less than 1%. So how do we compliantly communicate and contact as many consumers and try to help them resolve these past due accounts as we can? And that's the kind of tools that y'all give us.
Yeah, time is money, right? Is that what they say? You talked a little bit in some previous conversations that we've shared. You talked about this concept around interactions with the integration. Can you elaborate more maybe on the integration and how that it's maybe interacting with your systems and kind of the experience there?
Ecliptics has a very tight integration with the collector system in TCN. It's called Campaign Manager. They're going to show it, but the thing that I have found is they can tweak it to get, if there's little pieces of information that you want that are not being sent, they make it work in the way that you want it to work. My experience with TCN has been that you guys constantly help me figure out some of the crazy things that I want to do. And, you know, I sat back preparing for this, looking at some of the things we're doing, and they seem normal to me now. But whenever I first was kind of bringing them up to Jeff Williard, my salesperson with you guys, you know, my first thing always is, hey, if I'm sounding crazy today, I apologize. There's something I want to try. And what really kind of got me motivated is looking over all of this stuff again and starting to think, you know, there's some new things I want to do and figuring that out.
Yeah, no, and really that's what we're trying to accomplish, I think, with the integration and the partnership is to continue develop and bring these tools so that you can, Chris, keep trying, you know, pushing the envelope with different communication strategies or, you know, different tactics that you need to tackle. You touched a little bit on this, but how has the platform, TCN's platform, and the Finvi solutions address your organization's issues with customizing, scaling, and maybe even adapting to changes? And I know a couple of those points you briefly touched on, but can you maybe elaborate on that customization, scalability, and adaptability?
We've got one of our clients that we do first party work for, and they approached us, and this was several years ago, and their billing system, they were moving to a Salesforce platform for their billing system, and they didn't have the ability to really drive strategy behind the scenes in Salesforce. And one of the things that you all and I was able to do with the collector system and able to do with y'all's help was connect to Salesforce. And we the reps actually never log into the collector system, but the collector system drives the data, and everything they're doing in Salesforce. That's one example of things that we've done that's a little bit different. But you know, and when you get really into third party, it's yes, we want to make as many right party contacts as we can, but there's limitations on the number of attempts that we can make during a week on an account, on the number of contacts. Those change even sometimes by state level, sometimes even a city, or the type of phone number we're dialing. So in the collector system, that's what drives it. But there's backup things that we've set up using y'all's natural language compliance that really gives us just a little bit of backup also to see to it that we're not calling too many times during the day, or that we don't slip up, because I really want to do the right thing, and there's the tools are there to allow us to do that.
No, this is super insightful, and I hope everybody that's tuned in is kind of grasping the power and the functionality that Chris has been able to adopt and to leverage here between Finvi and TCN, and as well as that Ecliptics integration. Anything, Chris, that you would like to add, or anything that maybe the aha moment or something that's just maybe we haven't discussed here today that you would like to share with the group today?
I helped Columbia Ultimate before Finvi purchased them. I worked for several years helping them develop a couple of different calling platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And I part of the when Ontario purchased Columbia Ultimate, part of my deal with them was, okay, I want the interface that we developed jointly, and I'm moving it to TCN. Well, we then took, with working with Ralph and Sam Mason, we started customizing that interface in coordination with the interface that they have now in Campaign Manager to really be able to dig in deeper into campaigns and dig into collectors whips or pool campaigns that we're running to really figure out how to work the accounts in the most effective, efficient way. Rotate through time of day and now method, that whether it's a text or an email or phone call, but really to use all of the tools available to us, and that's what, with using their interface and using you guys as our communication platform provider, that's what we've been able to do.
Oh, we love it. No, we really do appreciate, Chris, as I mentioned before, sharing your experience and kind of walking us through your journey and growth. And it's really remarkable what you've been able to do over there at FCS. Any last words or anything else? We really do appreciate your comments, but anything else that you'd like to add? I know we're kind of right here at time with you, but anything else that you'd like to add before we transition to our next piece here?
You're just a great partner.
Appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. Good. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you again. Now let's time to see, we've really talked about the vision. We've talked about an experience with Chris in FCS, and now it's time to see what we're talking about, what the TCS integration can really do. And with that, we'd like to bring on the Ecliptics team, and Sam, it's all yours. So, feel free to take it away. And again, any questions that come up during the presentation, we'll try to save those until the end of the demo and the walkthrough. But Sam, with that, it's all yours.
Thanks, McKay. Appreciate the opportunity to have a few minutes here to just tell you all about who Ecliptics is and the things that we do integrating TCS with modern technology to provide solutions to help agencies be quicker and smarter and run their processes in a more efficient way. Ecliptics is built of a team of developers and problem solvers, solution makers that we work with TCS and integrated with it for over 30 years. So we're very familiar with it, familiar with the ways we can customize it and provide custom solutions for agencies. One of the things we've understood very quickly was that there's no magic bullet. There's no single off-the-shelf software solution for TCS agencies to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And so our strength is providing the flexibility to bend and meld business processes with TCS and with TCN so that we can provide the best solution possible for each agency. So with that, Ralph's going to give a little demo here just to show you how it ties in with how the TCN application ties in with TCS. And so I'm going to turn time over to him to give us a little demo.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Let me see if I can share my screen here. And is that coming through?
Yep.
Okay, great. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you are today. As Sam said, I just want to give you a quick exposure to the campaign builder integration that Ecliptics has built. We've got a couple of flavors of that, but this is our newest iteration. And just want to take you through two different areas within the campaign scheduling at TCN. I want to take you through an on-demand campaign and how that is scheduled at TCN. And then I want to take you through our campaign builder with the configuration and the scheduling of recurring campaigns and how you can set those up very easily through the integration from within TCS. So let me start by just saying that we will go to your special routines menu when we install the integration, and we will install an option on your special users menu. You see the TCN integration menu here. As we pull that up, everybody's been talking today about an omni-channel solution, and we are able to address all of those channels for you. What I'm going to do today is focus on the dialer menu as I take you through, just because all of you are dialing most likely, and then and all of the different channels are very similar from an integration standpoint. So I think that's the best place to start. But if I go into the dialer menu, you're going to see the option for an on-demand campaign. And that's what I'm going to take us through right now. Again, just to give you a little feel for what the integration does. It will query as to whether or not you're sure you want to do this. Do you want to send a campaign to TCN? Through the integration, we make available the templates that you create at TCN. And whenever those templates are created, we immediately bring them down. As you're aware, the templates have things like hunt group. They are agent and business rules that are associated with the campaign. And so you select the template. We default to today for the start date, the start time. You choose your stop time. Do you want to include cell phone numbers? All of you within the collector system are familiar with recall. So once you've identified the accounts you want to include in the campaign, you'll enter your save list name. The agent then gets a verification screen to confirm that all of the entries are correct, and they can then submit that campaign, and that will be submitted up to TCN at this point. That is the manual method, the on-demand method for submitting a manual campaign to TCN. Now what I want to do is go out to option B, view active lists. And here the integration provides just a place where you can go in and see the progress of the campaign, you've got a task ID, which corresponds to the broadcast ID at TCN. You've got the number of accounts in the campaign, your list name, the last polled date and timestamp, and then you've got a campaign status. Now, I ran a campaign earlier this morning just to make sure that everything was working for the demo. And so you see that that one is completed. The current campaign is going to be taken by the TCN server, and the status on the campaign can range from waiting to be uploaded to scheduled to any percent complete. And that will change. And the way we do that is we implement a query interval so that we're not constantly pinging the TCN server. That query interval with most agencies is about 10 minutes, where we will check the TCN server for any updates to the templates, any new templates, and importantly, results from the campaign as it is running. So you're getting your results in near real time, and we're automatically updating the account in TCS. What does that look like? I'm just going to talk to a couple of points here before I get back to the dynamic presentation. A note line is added to the account with the number that was called, the date and time of the call, and the result of the call. Also, in addition, the TCN result and disposition codes can be configured to apply updates on the account. And so most agencies provide us with a custom results map. That helps us determine how to update the accounts in the collector system. Just a couple of examples of what we've done for other agencies. Tickler updates, where we update next work date, priority, next steps. We got fiscal field updates with last call date and time, a last number that was called, the last result. For some agencies, we're updating status code and or desk changes. We can update custom files such as dialer history log. We can start strategies on accounts. Sorry, I'm getting a call from the campaign that I just launched. We can start a strategy on an account. So to Sam's point about customization, that's really where we specialize in optimizing your process for your agency, which is going to be a little bit different than the agency down the road. Bottom line, we work with you to determine what that best workflow is. The last point on this on-demand campaign, and it applies to the recurring campaigns as well that we're going to look at, is the do not call functionality. Obviously, we speak with the agencies and you determine what the criteria are for a do not call that gets applied to an account. One of the most frequent, obviously, we get is to eliminate repeat calls for accounts that have already been worked on a given day. Obviously, compliance is something we're all aware of. Through the integration that we have into the collector system, we can detect whenever an account is worked in the collector system, and we can automatically put that account on a do not call status until 1 a.m. the following morning so that it's not eligible for another campaign that day. If there are multiple phone numbers associated with the account, we can put all of the phone numbers on the account in a do not call status for you. So again, we're just looking for ways to customize and to make your processes as efficient as possible. Okay, I'm going to back out now and I'm going to go to the campaign builder. And what I want to do is show you the ability to configure and schedule your recurring campaigns, which can then be built every morning automatically so that they're ready at TCN when your agents come in and are ready to take calls. So let's go into the campaign builder. And what you're seeing here is just a demo list of my dashboard. These are campaigns that have been built. You've got the type or the source for the campaign, the days that these campaigns are scheduled to run, the time of day that they're scheduled to run, the link. We can address that at a later date, but if you want to run campaigns sequentially, tie them together in different ways, that can be accomplished. And then again, you've got the TCN broadcast template, which again contains the hunt group, agent, business rules associated with the campaign, et cetera. And through the integration, we bring that broadcast template down. What I'm going to do to continue the demo is go to just one of these campaigns. Let's go to number 4, the high balance account. And you can see displayed here what a configured campaign looks like. And based on the limited time that we've got, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through the fields that are optionals for you to filter on. As you do that, your campaign information is populated. Okay, so if we look at campaign type, there are a number of sources for your campaigns. Recall just allows recall statements to be used to build the campaigns. Save list, again, pretty straightforward, allows you to put in a get list in your save list name. The client select allows you to include clients that you want to select from. The desk select option prompts you for the desks that you want to include in a campaign. It would combine all of the accounts from those desks into a single work file, and then it would filter and sort those as designated in setup. And then WIP, this type of campaign creates one campaign for each desk in the order that your WIP was built in day end. If you want to create manual campaigns that your agents are going to go through one by one, this option brings up the campaign in the agent's screen in the agent's WIP order. And so those are the sources for the campaign. If you go down to campaign call type, we don't use this much anymore due to some of the recent changes, standard and manual calling, so I'm going to move on. Your TCN import template. These are fields that we send to display at TCN so that they're available to be used in the TCN agent screen. The TCN broadcast template, I've talked about that multiple times, but again, you'll see as we go in and you choose a template, you're going to be populating your import template, you're populating your broadcast template. So just a little show as we go through and don't have a ton of time to talk about each one. Filtering on phone fields. Phone fields, the campaign builder uses a default set of phone fields that the agency provides to us at setup. And then if you want to exclude some of those phone fields in a debtor or fiscal from a specific campaign, you can do that through this option. If you want to add a phone field that wasn't included in the default phone fields, you can do that as well. You can filter on desks and you can include or exclude a desk. And again, you're populating up here as you enter those different selections. Status codes, you can filter on status code. You can filter on client number. You can filter on client groups, which is an option that behaves very similar to client number, other than the client groups is based off of a business code or maybe some other field that your agency is using to group clients together. And so if you've got a custom field that in the client record or the fiscal record that you're using to group accounts, then we can again customize this option to just select the accounts that belong in that specific group. Start, stop days, you would go in here for your scheduling at when do you want the start time, stop time, cell phone scrub, what days of the week do you want the campaign to run? And then we can do minimum, maximum packet balance and minimum number of days since last payment. And then there's some other filtering capabilities that you can achieve through recall. I am no expert on recall, but just suffice it to say that any of the functionality that exists in the collector system is brought back through the integration, and you have all of that capability here through the integration. So that in a nutshell is some of the primary functionality of the campaign builder integration. You'll notice here quickly you can add new campaigns. You can copy campaigns. If I've got one here that is close to what I want and I don't want to build it all over, I can copy one and then rename it. I can run an on-demand campaign. If I canceled this campaign this morning at 8 a.m. for some reason, but now I want to run an on-demand, I can type in R and then the number of the campaign. So quite a bit of flexibility for you. One other thing I'd like to show you before I turn the time back to McKay is just the thing I haven't had a ton of time to talk about, but we'd love to get in deeper with you if you have an interest. And that is, again, the TCN result code and disposition code setup, where we build a custom map, taking those result codes, disposition codes, marrying that to your custom results map, and from that, being able to update your accounts in the most efficient manner possible. And so I'm going to leave it there as hopefully some exposure to you about what we can do from an integration standpoint. If any of that resonates with some of the goals that you've got at your agency or some of the automation that you'd like to see, we would love to get together with TCN and talk to you further and explore a little deeper into what your specific needs are. So with that, McKay, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Ralph and Sam. It was very informative. And, there was a lot there, obviously. And if too much to cover, I think, in the limited time we have today. So obviously, if there's follow-up questions for anyone in the audience, please reach out. And, we'd be happy to do a deep dive into how it would look like for your organization. Sam, was there anything else? Oh, you just clicked off there, but any questions or anything else that you would like to say before we wrap up with this demo? Or
no, I think Ralph's demo pretty much covered everything we wanted to get across, and hopefully triggered some questions or thoughts on solutions others might want or need. So just go from there. Thanks.
No, it's great. Thank you. Yeah, and the benefits are huge. Being able to integrate the two systems from time savings, and as well as you can kind of claw back some of your time in the day and focus on different initiatives that you'd like to tackle as well. Kind of get some of that time back. We have a few minutes, just about a minute or so for additional questions. We've gotten a few questions come through that we've just answered, not really related to what we're talking about today, but we've got those answered. Any other questions that you have, please share those now. We will get to those now, but if no other further questions while we wait for those to come through, we just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's joined today's webinar, and for everybody that has participated. We know there is so much potential in the benefits that will come from this partnership, and we are all dedicated to working together to provide you with what you need to succeed, as Chris has shared with us today. All right, well, no further questions have come in. And that really does wrap up our webinar today. And thanks again. To learn more about this integration, you can visit TCN's website for our contact information. Additionally, we will be sending out a follow-up email regarding this webinar and additional resources that will help you along your journey in researching this integration. And lastly, the recording will also be made available very shortly, so keep an eye out for that. And that kind of wraps us up for today's webinar. So thanks, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.